Hey guys, it's your girl Josie and I'm back at it again with another video. And as you can tell by the title of this video, today I'm doing high school tips for freshmen, sophomore, junior, and seniors, because some freshmen that are going into high school don't really know what to expect. So this is a video on what you can do to survive in high school, because it is preparing you for the real world. And if you don't already have a job, or if you do, it's also preparing you for college if you are going to college. So without further ado, let's get right into it. I have my old phone here with a whole bunch of notes that I wrote down. I know it's not everything that I would like to talk about in this video. I'm gonna end up adding more as I go on. The first question that I had was, how do I study? I didn't study. I did not study at all. And the only thing that I would do is just look through my notes. Like, it wasn't really studying, because I would skim through it literally right before a test or a quiz. Focus on the notes that you have that you need to study. I mean, I can't really say too much about how to study because I didn't even study myself. I don't know. But if I were you, I would just put my phone down and look over certain notes that you wrote down. Make sure that you don't stress yourself out too much, because some people will like look at it for too long and then end up like stressing themselves out and then not wanting to look at it at all. Next question is, how do I stay focused on school while also being in sports? Sports, I feel like, is not really my thing because I'm not athletic or nothing like that. I ain't gonna lie. But make sure that you get your work done way before you worry about sports. I know a lot of people are like, sports is my main priority than school. Don't do that, because you will fail. You will most definitely fail. And you don't want to fail, because some schools, like, if you don't have good grades, then you can't play sports. The high school that I graduated from is not like that. I don't know why. But back home, if you have like a bad grade, then you can't play sports. Make sure that you keep your grades up. And if you ever need help, ask. Because some people don't ask for help. And y'all need to ask. Main priority, get your work done and then worry about sports. How do I know what to buy for school? When you start school, do not go out and buy a whole bunch of notebooks, go out and buy a whole bunch of paper, binders, highlighters, a lot of that stuff. Do not buy that stuff. My parents have wasted a lot of money going out and buying a whole bunch of school supplies that was on a list that we didn't even need throughout the whole school year. So I suggest the first day of school, bring a pencil, and all you need is a pencil until they give you like a syllabus or a list of what you'll need in that class, because some classes do that, or they'll just tell you what you need. But other than that, do not go out and buy anything until you know exactly what you need, because you will end up wasting your money on stuff that you will not even be using throughout the year. How do I go about friends in high school? Only trust certain people with certain things. You can't sit there and tell your business to everybody and not expect him to just not go and tell anybody else. Keep a small circle. Keep at least 2 to 5 friends. Not even 5. Like, keep it 2 to 4 friends. And keep your personal business to yourself. When it comes to being in certain classes, and say for instance your best friend isn't in your class, you need to at least have somebody in one of your classes, in each one of your classes, that you can communicate with. Say for instance, one day your teacher says you need to work with somebody and they partner you up with somebody, you know, like, just make sure you always have one friend in each class. And it don't even have to be specifically a friend, just somebody that you can work with. Next question is, how do I handle drama? This is where a lot of people get stressed out in school, is when it comes to drama. But as you get older, you don't really have drama. Like I said, you just stay out the mix. Stay to yourself. Do not, I repeat, do not speak about no one. Don't talk about no one. Do not ever have somebody else's name in your mouth, because that causes drama and then you got extra stress on yourself. Do not put yourself in a situation where a whole bunch of people are against you, or a whole bunch of people are coming at you all because of something so stupid. Another thing that I want to speak about. So when you're a freshman or sophomore, a lot of guys, like seniors, they're gonna try to mess with you. Do not fall for it. Do not. They're not actually trying to mess with you. They're trying to get one thing. And y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. You to tell them certain things so they can run their mouth to their friends or anybody else about your personal business. Do not mess with them. And if you do, keep it on the low. Don't tell nobody, but make sure it's not like a basketball player or a really popular guy, because they're gonna go tell everybody that they talk to you. And if you go out and do something with them, they're gonna tell everybody. So just be careful when you mess with older people if you are a lower classman. When it comes to struggling in your classes, say for instance, like you don't know how to do an assignment, always make sure to ask the teacher for help. Many people are very uncomfortable when it comes to asking for help. I'm also one of those people, but what I learned my senior year is you always need to ask for help. So when you don't know something or you're confused, ask a teacher for help. They're going to help you understand the concept, because you don't want to just guess on something and then you sit there and get a bad grade because you guessed and didn't ask. Something that a lot of people are scared to do is stand up for themselves when it comes to anything. Like if someone's talking bad about you, if someone causes something and you know your place, you know that you didn't do something, and you don't stand up for yourself, you can't do that. You always have to stand up for yourself, because if you don't, people are going to be like, oh, I can keep doing this and that to her. I can keep picking at her. I'm going to do whatever I want to her, him, whatever. They're going to think that they can control you, and you don't want that. I'm going to speak from personal experience. So when it came down to the pandemic and I was out of school for literally like 2 years, I had to do online for 2 years. And when I went back to school in person, I had really bad anxiety, way worse anxiety than I ever had before, because I wasn't around anybody for a while. And so when I went to my new school, I had really bad anxiety, and it was kind of hard for me to get comfortable in that certain environment. It was kind of hard for me to talk to people. So one thing that I could say about having anxiety is surround yourself by certain people that you feel comfortable with. Like, do not surround yourself by negative energy, because it will trigger things, and you don't want to have like a really bad panic attack, or you don't want to start overthinking about certain things. In certain classes, whenever I was doing my work, I was able to listen to music. And for me, listening to music in class, it helped with my anxiety. And also, if it's hard for you to talk to certain people, just find that one person where you can get to know them a little bit more and be able to open up just a little bit, not about nothing personal, but just open up to them, because it will relieve some anxiety. It will relieve some stress off your chest. That's what helped me. I was able to speak to certain people, open up to certain people, and it just made me feel comfortable. When you're in a relationship in high school, do not tell nobody who you're messing with. No one. Throughout my whole senior year, I didn't tell nobody who I messed with. Like certain people, yes, they knew who I was talking to and stuff like that. But you want to stay drama free, because every time somebody finds out that you're in a relationship or that you're happy, they always want to ruin it. They always want to sit there and say, oh, he's doing this, oh, he's doing that, I saw him with this girl. And most of the time they're lying. You don't want to sit there and be worried about what other people got to say, because it's going to bother you, and then it's going to make it to where it's hard for you to focus in class. It's going to be hard for you to focus on your work, because you're worried about somebody else and what they had to say about your boyfriend. When most of the time, like I said, they just be trying to start stuff for no reason. A main thing that I forgot that I left out is you guys need to turn in your work. Do not turn it in a day late. Do not turn it in a few days late. When it's due, make sure you get it done. And another thing that I used to take advantage of is when I had class time to do my work, I never would do it. I was the one who always turned stuff in late, I still was able to get a good grade, but you don't want to be like me. Not all teachers take late work. I mean, they will here and there, but when it comes to certain days where, say for instance, you guys have a quiz, the day that you got classwork, they're not gonna sit there and be like, oh yeah, you can turn it in late. No, they want it then and there. Therefore, don't take advantage of class time when you could be doing your work. Make sure that you have food, like any snacks, any drinks in high school, because some classes let you eat. A lot of these are out of order because I'm thinking as the video goes on, because I didn't write everything I needed to in my notes. Do not ever be late to class, because your teachers do not care if you're late or not. They will mark you tardy. With certain schools, if a certain amount of tardies add up or absences, you can get an ISS and stuff like that. You don't want that on your record. You don't want to sit there and get in trouble all because you was late to class or you was skipping class. One thing that I've learned, they know when you're skipping class. Trust me. Another thing that you guys need to know is junior year is one of the hardest years. You have so much homework, like homework on top of homework on top of homework. You got homework mostly in every single class. You got essays on top of essays. You always want to make sure you get it done. Like my junior year, for instance, they did not play about your work being turned in. I know a lot of people slack, procrastinate, this and that. Like, no, y'all. People will most definitely take advantage of you when it comes to schoolwork, when it comes to getting answers, when it comes to finding out about yourself just so that they can go and tell everybody your business. So one thing that I've noticed is when people continue to ask for your work or continue to ask for help for work, they usually are just using you for work. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I did ask a lot of people for help because certain days where I'm having a down day, I need some help. So I have somebody sit there and explain it to me. But one thing about me, I've never taken advantage of somebody just to get work out of them. And you don't want to be that person, because in the end, you will not have any friends. There will always be people who judge you off the way you look, off the way you dress, off the way you talk, really just anything about you. A lot of people don't like certain things of what people do, but usually it's just because other people are insecure. You want to enjoy the last 4 years of high school because those are your last 4 years of being in school if you don't end up going to college for anything. And what I've realized is high school goes by so fast, like literally in a blink of an eye. You don't want to waste your time by just studying all the time. Like, yes, you need to get your work done, but if there's football games, basketball games, parties, go out and have some fun. One thing about me, my senior year, I didn't do anything that I planned to do, and now I regret it because it's like I want to go back in time where I can go to games, where I can go hang out with my friends, go to parties. But I was the friend that stayed home all the time. Don't be like me. Go out and have some fun. Something that you'll notice after you graduate from high school, or say for instance you go into a different grade, you're not always going to have the same friends. Like, I've always made new friends every single year because of the certain classes that I was in. But now that I'm not in high school, I don't even talk to anybody that I used to talk to. Like, I talked to like maybe 2 or 3 people out of all the people that I was talking to throughout the whole school year, every single day. Like, people are going to change. People now have other things to do since we're not in school anymore. Like I said, people got jobs. They got to go to college. I mean, you guys are going to talk sometimes or here and there, but it's not going to be every single day like you guys were talking. When you're going into high school or you're already in high school, it doesn't matter what you wear, what you look like. I mean, there's always going to be somebody who has to say something, but you're going there to learn and to pass. You're not going there to impress anybody. So you don't need to do a full face of makeup. You don't need to dress up every day. I mean, if you guys like to do that, go ahead and do it. But me personally, I would wear a hoodie every day, some sweatpants, and some Crocs. I did not care what I look like. I was not there to impress anybody. I do recommend is always be prepared. So make sure that you have perfume, deodorant, gum, tampons, pads if you're on your period. Always make sure to be prepared. always have food, drinks, any type of snacks that you would like to bring. Also carry a little bit of change. Don't bring too much money to school. So I feel like I covered everything that I needed to in this video. If you guys have any other questions, make sure to comment them down below so that I can make a part 2 if I need to. But that was the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. Make sure you guys turn on post notifications so you guys can get a notification every time I post a video. And I'll see you guys whenever I post again.